Back on the 78 Camaro, I'm going to reprime these body panels, 2 doors and 2 fenders, which I've been working on for several days. I found some scratches, little flaws. I sanded them out, and I'm going to be doing a reprime and then re-guide coat and sand. So I'm cleaning the panels. I dusted them off, and then I used the wax and the grease remover, as you've seen. And now I'm using the 2K high build sandable primer, and it's a 4-to-1 ratio. 4 parts paint, 1 part activator. And this particular primer, and most sanding primers, filler primers, are on the thicker side. And I'm adding 1 part reducer to thin it out a little bit, to make it a little bit easier to spray, and so I can get a better fan pattern. So this is the activator. I do 1 part, and so in the 4-to-1 mixing ratio, it's equivalent to putting 4 quarters in a bucket. You add 1 part, which is another quarter, and I'm adding another part reducer, which is another quarter. So 4-to-1. So in this case, it's 4-to-1 to 1. And they sell these cups that have a scale on them that make it very easy, where you can't go wrong on the quantity to get your mixing ratio correct. And this primer, I have to mix it really well. It took about a minute or 2 to mix it, because the heaviness is at the bottom. So even when it was in the paint can, I had to mix it thoroughly to get just to get that product consistent, where there's no heavy spots that are left in the paint can at the bottom. So as I'm mixing it, I'm going to be pouring it into a disposable paint cup. And so that paint cup, it's an Amazon product, and it drops into the canister, and then I get a strainer, pour the paint in there, put the cap on. The cap does have a screen, and then I put a locking lid, and then my Harbor Freight paint gun has an adapter that snaps into the paint canister. And so it's very easy to use, and I've even seen some of these products at Harbor Freight, like some of the fittings for this canister. I got them at Harbor Freight or Amazon and local paint stores. And you can see how thick the paint is right there. So as I get ready to paint on a clean surface, I make sure that my air compressor does not have moisture in the tank, and I set up an extra lines with draining system to prevent moisture into my mixture of my spray paint or primer, because that can give you a really bad finish on your panels when you paint. So be sure that you are using clean, dry air. Use the correct filters in your air compressor to get the proper clean air with no moisture, because the air compressors create condensation. So as I get ready to paint, I have a wide fan pattern. My PSI is about 28 PSI, and I'm staying about 6 inches away from the panel, and I'm having just a consistent flow, kind of like robot style, and I just do the whole 4 panels, 2 doors and 2 fenders in that same motion and get complete coverage. I'm using maybe 50% overlap, and so that's the average speed. If you don't get runs on primer unless you pause and keep the trigger pulled. So practice having good trigger control, and when the when you're spraying the primer or paint, keep that gun moving, keep it consistent, and then you'll turn out with a good paint job or primer paint job. And so I'm going to keep on doing these videos until I get to the finished product. And hopefully this is the last time I'll be primering these panels and sanding them, because this is the third time. And it just depends on the quality that you're looking for and how much work you want to put into it. So thank you for watching, and stay tuned for some more videos so we can get this Camaro painted.